up, everybody? It's your man, Donovan Sharp, and welcome to this edition of The Sharp Reality. Follow me on Twitter at Donovan_Sharp. Go to the contact tab on thesharpreality.com anytime if you have questions, comments, show ideas, or personal stories you'd like to share. You can also subscribe to my YouTube channel. Just do a quick search for Donovan Sharp. If you'd like to contribute to the show and keep us on air, just bookmark the Amazon link at the sidebar of our homepage and do your Amazon shopping through that link. And of course, you can check out my content on returnofkings.com as well as the Red Pill subreddit. Today, I'm going to tell you guys about 5 of the most common white lies or half-truths or untruths or whatever you want to call it that women tell men. Now, we've all heard stories about how husbands or boyfriends or significant others are sort of blindsided by the revelations of past sexual history, all of the debauchery, all of the escapades of their wives, girlfriends, etc. We hear about the hurt, the shock, the pain, and there's also a lot of confusion because he realizes at that point that his snowflake wasn't exactly who he thought she was. And at some point, we hear men say out loud on subreddits or YouTube videos, whatever the case may be, they say something to the effect, well, how could she not tell me? Well, here's the thing. She did. She just didn't tell you the whole story. She's been telling you half-truths, or as she'll tell her friends, they'll call them little white lies or whatever the hell they call them. Rather than getting into the mental gymnastics or complicated explanations, I'll just use a quick example here. Let's say you're out on a date with a woman who tells you that her husband cheated on her, so she filed for divorce. Now, is it plausible that he cheated on her for no reason at all, which caused her to up and leave? Sure. Okay, nothing's impossible, but here is a better question. Is that likely? In 2017, guys, not a chance. Here's the real story. Here's what probably happened. She cheated first, stopped fucking him, and when he finally got the balls to go and cheat himself, she finally had a reason to cut him loose. And this is if he even cheated at all, which conveniently for her, there's no real way to verify, okay? So she probably cheated on him and divorced him because she lost attraction to him. The story she gave you was only partially true. This on some level to give themselves an escape hatch. And the reason they do this is because if their boyfriends or husbands or their significant others eventually learn the whole story and call her out on it, she's got that escape hatch. So, for example, in the situation I just talked about, you can say, you lied to me. You didn't tell me he cheated too. Her response will be, well, I didn't lie to you. I told you he cheated, so I divorced him. That was the truth. Okay? And she's right. It was the truth. She just didn't tell you the whole truth. Over the years, I have heard countless lies like this. All right. Now, there are different variations and degrees to some of these lies, but I continuously hear the same ones over and over. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you the 5 most common untruths or white lies or half-truths that females tell. I'm going to tell you what she's trying to convey. I'm going to tell you what it probably means. And I'm also going to tell you the escape technique that she'll use if you do learn the truth, and the follow-up question to avoid getting got in the first place. In other words, how to get to the truth or understand that there is more to the story than what she's telling you. So let's go ahead and get to it. First one, and I know we've all heard this one before. I haven't been in a relationship in over a year, or I haven't been in a relationship for 6 months, or ever how long she's telling you, or ever how long she tells you. Here's what she wants you to believe. She wants you to believe 2 things. Number 1, that because she hasn't been in a relationship in a while, she hasn't had sex in a while, which leads to number 2, she doesn't have sex unless she's in a relationship. Amy, who I talked about in episode 4, the worst heartbreak of my life, one thing she told me, she flat out said, I don't have sex unless I'm in a relationship. Well, that turned out to be a lie because she was fucking every Tom, Dick, and Harry in the particular county that we lived in. And that is nothing short of an exaggeration, trust me. Here's what it probably means when she tells you I haven't been in a relationship in over a year or whatever she's trying to make you believe. She's been hooking up and doing one-night stands with random dudes by the fucking truckload. All right? Here's the here's the escape technique that she'll use. She'll tell you, like, if you call her out on it, she'll say, well, if you tell her, well, you fucked this guy and that, what the fuck? What she'll say to you is, well, look, I told you I hadn't been in a relationship. I never said I hadn't hooked up with anybody or went out on dates. There's a difference. Then when you ask, well, why didn't you tell me? She'll just reply, well, you never asked. Now, look, guys, you can be pissed off all you want, but guess what? She's right. Being in a relationship is different from going out on dates or hooking up with random dudes. But she didn't want to tell you the other half of the story. So she told you that she wanted you to hear. So if a woman ever tells you, I haven't been in a relationship for XYZ time to try to make her sound like she's some virtuous woman, here's the follow-up question that you ask. You say it just like this. So you mean to tell me you haven't been out on a single date or even hooked up with anyone for an entire year? And guys, you need to have a confused and a skeptical look on your face, okay? Because at that point, if you ask it that way to a girl who has told you this, you have essentially checkmated her. All right. She can't answer no, because she'll think that you're thinking, well, what's wrong with this chick if nobody wants to fuck her? Because that's what she would think if you told her. If you told a woman, well, I haven't been in a relationship in over a year, she's going to think, what the fuck's wrong with you? And because women project and they think that sexual dynamics are symmetrical, she'll think that that's what you think about her. But you've also got her because if she answers yes, she knows she's got some explaining to do. Either way, she knows that you're not the gullible type, which will make her think twice about lying to you down the road. If you choose not to ask that follow-up question and take her at her word, then you find out later that she was an epic slut during the time she led you to believe that she was basically wearing a chastity belt, that's your fault. Guys, never, ever, ever believe what a woman tells you ever. There is always more to the story. Here's another white lie or half-truth that women regularly tell their significant others. I just came out of a bad relationship. Listen, women have been using this for decades. I just came out of a bad relationship. Here's what she's trying to convey. Here's what she wants you to believe. The reason for her relationship coming to an end was that it was her boyfriend's or husband's fault. Women also know that the phrase bad relationship implies physical or emotional abuse or infidelity without having to actually say it out loud. Let me tell you what really happened. The relationship was, quote, bad because her ex-boyfriend or ex-husband failed too many shit tests, put her pussy on a pedestal, and eventually became unattractive to her, and she cheated on him and left him. The escape technique is that she'll use on her. So let's say that she tells you she just came out of a bad relationship with her baby's father, okay? And you find out that she's been fucking the baby daddy on the side. This is where she'll actually tell you, okay, that he was physically abusive to her and called her names. Whether or not it's true is irrelevant. You have no way of knowing for sure. And she knows this, so she'll tell you whatever story she wants. As far as girls are concerned, any relationship they leave is a, quote, bad relationship, okay? They'll tell you in themselves whatever they want, okay? They'll tell you whatever they have to justify the bad behavior that you find out about. Here is the follow-up question. So if a girl says to you, I just came out of a bad relationship, well, here's the answer. Here's the question. Ask her, what happened? This simple question, again, it pins her in a corner, guys. Not only does she have to explain her situation in a way that completely absolve her of any and all responsibility, she's got to do it on the fly. Women rarely expect you to ask them anything after they play that ace of spades known as the just came out of a bad relationship card, okay? Most women just assume you just take her at her word. Now here's the thing. If she's a pro, if she's good, and a lot of them are, she'll give you the, I don't want to talk about it. Ends the conversation. You can't browbeat her because then she'll get upset, whether she's really, and listen, she's probably lying, but then now she's turned the tables on you. If you badger her, no, tell me, I don't believe you. Oh my God, you don't believe me? Fuck you, you're an asshole. And then that's it. But again, in the back of her mind, if you ask her what happens, even if she shuts down the conversation with the I don't want to talk about it card, in the back of her mind, she might think that you won't take whatever she says at face value, okay? She knows she can't just tell you something and you not quiz her on it. And here's another thing that you can count on. Eventually, listen, women can't help but tell on themselves. At some point, she will inadvertently start to trickle out the real story. At which point you'll have a better understanding of what really happened. Now, if she really has been in an abusive relationship, you know that it's only a matter of time before she goes running back to the dude. I talked about in my last episode, why women stay with abusive men. Well, listen, if she was really with that abusive man, again, it's eventually, she's going to end up back with him or start sleeping or starts fucking with him or starts fucking him behind your back if you're stupid enough to commit to her. Your only move in this particular scenario, if she says that she has been in an abusive relationship or been in a bad relationship, have some fun with her for a few days and then cut her loose. That's really the only thing you can do. Here is another half-truth that I hear women say. This is a good one. I have never cheated. Yes, there are epic sluts out there who let the words "I have never cheated" to escape their mouths. Here's what she's trying to convey, what she wants you to believe, is that she is a faithful woman. Here's what happened. She hadn't really cheated, not technically. So what happened was she broke up with her boyfriend. It's funny. So what girls will do when they know that they are not attracted to their significant others anymore, they'll jump on any number of the 100,000 dating apps, right? And they'll get on Tinder, they'll meet a guy, and within 10 minutes, they know they want to fuck him. So what she'll do is she'll text her boyfriend and say, "Hey, look, I'm sorry, this isn't going to work out." Because she knows she's going to fuck, she knows she's going to fuck that dude that night. But because she wants to have her cake and eat it too, she sent the breakup text fully intent on getting back with him after she's had her fill of the new dude. So here's the escape technique, okay? So now you found out about what happened because she told you about a guy she hooked up during the time that her and her ex-boyfriend were together. So you say, wait a minute, you never cheated. Well, her response will be, I haven't. Then, of course, you'll state the obvious, but you hooked up with so-and-so while you were with so-and-so. Here's what she'll tell you. Well, we broke up for a couple days and then got back together. It's not cheating if we're not together. That is some sneaky ass shit, but women do this on the regular. She dumped him, so technically she was free to do whatever she wanted with whomever she wanted. So to get to the bottom of this particular lie women tell, just ask her flat out, "Hey, you ever get back with an ex after hooking up with other people?" This particular question cuts right to the heart of the issue without putting her on the spot. On its face, it seems like a harmless question, which more or less keeps her guard down. If she has ever pulled the break up to cheat and get back together the next day trick, she'll probably answer yes without hesitation, because she thinks you're unaware of this 24-hour alpha fucks beta bucks trick that women have been pulling for quite a while. Women have done this for eons. Here's another lie. I got married young. What she wants you to believe is that because she was young when she got married, her notch count was low. She didn't fuck a bunch of guys. Here's what really happened. She either got knocked up and walked down, and got married to, avoid having a bastard kid, or she saw the wall approaching quicker than she expected, which of course is the result of, sleeping with a bunch of dudes and locked down a man before her looks started to fade prematurely. Whatever the reason, the reason she got married young is not because she was a virtuous traditional woman who didn't want to waste her fertile years riding the carousel. So here's the escape technique. If you are foolish enough to ask her how many men she slept with, and I would, listen, never ask a woman how many men she slept with. She never tells you the truth. But if you are the dumbass who absolutely has to know, you'll be shocked when she tells you 33, which probably puts the number closer to maybe triple digits. Now, she'll say to you after you react with shock, she'll say, well, why is that so surprising to you? You'll say, well, you said you got married when you were 20. She'll say, I did, but that doesn't mean I didn't have a little fun during my teens. Okay? Anytime a female or a woman refers anything as a little, it usually means a lot. And I mean a whole lot, especially when it comes to sex. Girls, usually women who are in their mid 20s, will often use this particular ploy to give men the impression that she's a good woman who believes in the sanctity of marriage and proved it by marrying young. But girls these days are losing their virginity sometimes when they're preteens and sometimes even younger than that. So by the time they're by the time they're out of high school, they're hell, man, they probably fucked 50 guys, and if they go to college, it's all over with. So to cut through this particular brand of snowflaking, ask her this question. Say, well, I'm sure you had a. So if she tells you I got married young, ask her, well, I'm sure you had a few boyfriends though, didn't you? Again, this keeps her guard down. Every teenage girl has boyfriends, so she'll have no problem with answering truthfully, which is yes. Then you ask her, well, how many? Now, this is a little more direct, but her guard is still down, okay? In her mind, having sex with her boyfriend was perfectly normal, and it certainly didn't make her a slut because every girl has sex with her boyfriend in high school. Whatever number she gives you, multiply it by 7. That is, if she tells you she had 3 boyfriends before she graduated from high school, her notch count before she got married is probably somewhere north of 20. The last half truth or little white lie that women love to tell. This is absolutely this one. This one is a funny one, but girls are women are they are resorting to this particular brand of half truth with people, with men. She tells you, I was in an open relationship or I was in an open marriage. So what she wants you to believe is that she had sex outside of her relationship, but her boyfriend or husband was aware of it and was okay with it because he was doing the same. Here's what really happened. She cheated. She got caught. She promised, oh, it'll never happen again, but she kept fucking around. She got caught again. Then she proposed an open relationship, giving him, quote, permission to sleep with other women so that she could feel better about sleeping with other men. And his dumb ass accepted because he's a beta. And obviously at that point, he had one-itis. He doesn't have any other options. That's why men without options accept the open relationship because he knows, well, if she's proposing it, that means she wants to fuck other guys. I can't say no because then she'll leave me. The escape technique that they use, guess what? There's none needed. The moment you accept her open relationship explanation, okay, calling her out on slutty behavior, it's pointless, useless. After all, she was in an open relationship which gave her carte blanche or permission to sleep with whoever she wanted. So here's the follow-up question, and this one shoots this thing right down. This is all you have to ask her. If she says to you, yeah, I was in an open relationship or an open marriage, ask this. Well, did he sleep with other women? This is easily the most effective follow-up question and literally puts her in a no-win situation, like the one earlier. If she answers yes, she is indirectly admitting that she wasn't sexually appealing enough for her to want to have sex with her, and only her. If she answers no, her arrangement now turns from an open relationship to her cheating on her boyfriend or husband. Regardless of whether or not she had his blessing, she knows this makes her look like a slut. I've heard this from more women than I can count. And when I laugh when they tell me this, I literally laugh out loud. It's funny. I'm in an open relationship. I just laugh because I know they're full of shit. More importantly, it lets them know it lets them know that I know there's more to the story than just an open relationship. Like I've heard this before. One chick said, well, he was there when he fucked me, or I set him up with a female after I had my fun, or he said it was a turn on when I slept with other men. These are all things I've heard with my own ears. Bottom line here, guys, is that any female who says she's been in an open relationship, that's just another slutty female. Characterizing it as an open relationship is just one of many ways they can talk about their infidelity without actually calling it cheating. Bottom line is, women never tell you the whole story, guys. We all know this, especially when it comes to their sexual past. They'll never say they'll never tell you the truth. They'll never say to you out loud, our relationship did not work out because I slept around, or yeah, I fucked a lot of guys when I was single. That's why I can't pair bond with men. Deep down, they know what slutty behavior is, which is why they hide it in the first place. And there are many, many more of these kinds of truths that women like to tell to make themselves look better than they really are. And again, they're all different in terms of context, timing, and purpose. But the one thing remains a constant that you have to do. Always ask a follow-up question to get more of the story. Letting a woman get away with these kinds of blanket statements or these lies without probing for more information, without quizzing them on what really happening, that's then at that point, then indicating to her that you're buying the bullshit she's selling, that's going to end the relationship before it starts. Okay? If you don't call her out on her bullshit by asking these questions, she will have lost respect for you, and it's all downhill from there. At that point, it's only a matter of time before she's telling her next boyfriend that she got out of a, quote, bad relationship with you. That concludes this episode of The Sharp Reality. Hit me on Twitter anytime, or to get a hold of me through the contact tab of my website, thesharpreality.com. And make sure you bookmark that Amazon link on my homepage if you want to contribute to the show. Thanks for listening, guys. Talk to you next time.